So if you search the web and Google either hormonal or estrogen breakthrough bleeding, you will find a few articles on it. And the unfortunate thing is, I cannot find any information on breakthrough bleeding associated with masturbation. So this is something I've been living with like pretty much my whole life and never really even realized it until pretty much just now, because for my whole life, um, I, for as long back as long as I can remember, um, I've been masturbating like from very, very young age. I can remember like back in like preschool, when I was supposed to be taking my nap, how they'd make you take your naps in preschool. I can remember masturbating, and I didn't even have to like use my hands or touch myself. All I have to do is just put my legs together really tight and tighten up my body and kind of like tighten up my stomach, and I could like move around a little bit and masturbate like that. And I could do that up until probably when I was about 13 or 14. Then I started, like, here's my clit, and I would like rub the outside part of it, and I could masturbate and come really easy like that. I have a really big clit, by the way. But anyway, not to get off topic, but I think, well, actually, that does have something to do with it, because I think what it is why I get breakthrough bleeding after I masturbate is because it raises my testosterone level. And I actually did find something on that, that when a woman, man, whatever, masturbates, it does raise their testosterone level. Yeah, women do have testosterone, just not nearly as much as a man does. However, some women may have much, much more, or maybe much less than others. And I guess depending on how much testosterone your body produces kind of dictates how big your clit is. That's just my theory. I don't know that 100%, but I do know women that do take testosterone, like bodybuilders or female to males, their clits do get larger on it. I've never taken testosterone. This is like all my own natural body that's done that made my clit big. And I'm very, very happy and proud to have a big clit, just to let you know. But back to the topic of breakthrough bleeding. So pretty much my whole life I've had this from like 12, I think it was about 12. When I was 12, I started what I thought was my period, but it's very possible that I was not releasing eggs, even though it was just like a normal period. It's very possible that it was actually breakthrough bleeding. And I guess you could call that a period, except minus the egg release. Because I had been having sex like pretty much every single day from the time I was like 13 to like 22, and never got pregnant. So how do you explain that? I never could get an answer from any doctors or any nurses. They all just kind of look at me like I'm crazy, or they just say something really stupid to me that don't make any sense, or they think that they assume that that this is so this I had this one doctor, I'm not kidding you, she was so stupid. I asked her about like why I have breakthrough bleeding after I masturbate, and she looked at me and said, "Oh, it's okay to like she totally didn't understand what I was saying. Like she totally thought something completely different. She's like, "Oh, don't think it's not okay to masturbate. It's not bad. It's okay to masturbate." And like she totally ignored what I was asking her, and she just assumed that I thought it was a bad thing to masturbate, even though it's not what I even said. What I asked her was, "Why do I have breakthrough bleeding, or why does my period start every time I masturbate?" And she totally didn't even answer me. So that just shows you how stupid doctors are, and they don't know everything. And because this is rare, it's a very rare thing. I think that it's quite possible that nobody has the answers because it's not been researched. See, in order to research something, there has to be enough people with that whatever symptom or, you know, I don't want to say problem necessarily, but, there has to be enough people that have it for it to be funded, for it to be researched. So if there's no funding, there's no research. And if there's no research, nobody knows why or how or whatever. But my theory is, because of the little bit of research I've done on Googling, that, female to males that take testosterone, they do have breakthrough bleeding because of the extra testosterone. I guess it's somehow the testosterone will shed the lining, and that will cause the bleeding, which is like a period. It's the lining that's shedding that causes a period. So, and then the egg is supposed to like already be there, but you can also have the shedding and the bleeding without the egg there. So yeah, I think I'm pretty sure that the reason I never got pregnant then, when I was having sex every day at such a young age, and even though I was having bleeding, is most likely it was hormonal breakthrough bleeding, and most likely I never even had an egg there until I was like over 22. And then I think then I did start actually producing eggs, or not. Well, actually, women are already born with as many eggs as they're ever going to have. But what I mean is the egg that actually drops down in the tube and is ready for fertilization, which is a mature egg. But yeah, because then I actually did get pregnant when I was 22, and I never after that did not. So maybe it was just, I just got lucky once or something. I don't know. But anyway, what I want to ask is, does anyone else have this type of breakthrough bleeding where your period will start early, or you'll have spotting after long masturbation sessions? Because my masturbation sessions with myself usually last at least a couple hours. I really like to have lots of orgasms when I masturbate. So I usually do masturbate. When I do masturbate, it's usually for several hours. And I don't always get the breakthrough bleeding, but when it's close to ovulation time, I can get my period early. Or even when I'm not even supposed to get a period, if I masturbate for too many hours, I will actually get spotting. And that's definitely breakthrough bleeding, because it's not like a period that lasts for any length of time. But yeah, that's just my question, if anyone else has that experience, because I'm having a really hard time, like I said, finding any information at all on it, because I think it's kind of rare, of course, because no one knows much about it. So, okay, take care.